talk about circus history, they paint it as cute entertainment. What they don't understand is, the actual history behind it. But most people don't care. They're like, oh, I'm not black. That really has nothing to do with me. I'm gonna just go and have some fun and just see if for the glitz and glam that they like to show. Whole time, that's not the history of the big tent and what the big tent really be doing behind closed doors. And even still in modern society, there's some shit that is still going on. Not as egregious, but still goes on. Especially how you can make up your face. The clown industry. Because you can't be doing certain looks. You can't, like I said, you can't be doing looks like this. Like, no. You always have to make your face into a white face clown or something that they have some shit written in an old fucking book that you have to make it like when you go to fucking circus school. When you go to that clown school. Okay? But anyways, let's just get to it. They love to talk about P.T. Barnum. They talk about the Ringling Brothers. Talk about European clowns. White face clown. August clown. Even Piero. They never talk about the black performers who were there in the very beginning. Of course they don't. They never talk about black comedians whose style became the blueprint for clowning. Modern clowning. They never talk about acrobats and writers whose techniques were copied by white performers and then labeled as European tradition. The truth is simple. Black performers were essential to the circus, but the circus owners refused to let the audiences see their faces. And every circus tent and every show, behind the magic and wonder, was a massive amount of black labor. Black workers set up tents, cared for animals, managed equipment, played the music, and created comedic rhythms. White clowns later performed on stage. But were they ever thanked? No, of course not. But I'm thanking them now. Thank you so much. Mwah! You'll be appreciated by me and every black person who watches this video. Most importantly, black performers were in the acts. They just weren't allowed to be seen. Some circuses literally required black performers to hide their identity behind masks. The audience wouldn't know that they're black. Of course. White performers got the posters. Black performers got the work. Black clowns basically had to wear clown makeup to make their faces look race neutral. Like basically, so you can't really tell that they're black. Because if you can tell that they're black, then it's gonna be like, oh, that fucking is in the fucking circus show. I don't want to watch this. Like, it's gonna be a whole issue. So they make, and on top of that, racism in general, they did not want people to know that they're black. So that's what they did. Literally just a clown version of whitewashing. They were so talented, but they wanted to hide their real identity and to showcase their talent, and that's pretty much it. Of course, the circus owners never corrected all the audiences when they assumed that this is like a white performer doing it, because obviously that's the entire point when they want to hide their identity and stuff and put on, clown whitewashing makeup because, like I said, they didn't want people to know that they're black, so they're gonna cover your face up real good, put some features to make sure that you look white, if that makes sense, hiding your black features so they can fucking perform. Now, if they want to make fun of fucking black people and have let's make fun of your ass, then it'll be the opposite. They'll want them to put on makeup that exaggerates their features and make them look like, oh, you look like a fucking, and shit like that. So, yeah. Of course, if a actual white performer performed a black clown's act, they were never credited or anything like that. It was just like, yeah, this is my act, da-da-da-da. No credit nor nothing. Of course, they would be shown on the poster boards. Black people will rarely get posted in poster boards with the white people, and then, black people would show up in the show, but it's just they're really not trying to give black people credit like that. They're like, no, keep these in the bag. Like, we're not trying to do all this with them. Like, it's just racism, period. So, of course, when they want to make fun of black people, they'll get them to make fun of their own selves, things like that. Maybe get them to exaggerate their own black features to make fun of them, just like how the white man would put on the tramp clown look to make fun of black people, you know, when they want to be funny, like, let's make the white audiences laugh about blacks, you know, stuff like that. Then also, you know, they would never give the black clowns credit. So, of course, if they have their own act that they have, and then a white man came and just did the same act, you know, of course, they wouldn't be credited or anything like that. Of course, they don't give a fuck to do that. They're like, let's put these in the back. Like, we're not trying to give them credit. Like, no, you know, stuff like that. And of course, you know, they love to erase black people's names from history, especially if these same black clowns stood up to them and be like, listen, I don't want to do all this and that. I want to do my this and that instead. Like, I'm not trying to exaggerate my fucking face with clown makeup to make myself look more like what you think of me, which is for your entertainment. I want to do this and this and that. They would erase them, burn the evidence. They're like, oh, this guy didn't exist. He did not exist. So that's the type of shit that they would like to do. There were black tropes that toured alongside white circuses, but they were cataloged as separate acts to avoid upsetting white audiences. Of course, they have to coddle, you know, racism everywhere. And even when black performers were praised in the newspaper, it would just be like, oh, a colored performer dazzled the crowd. It wouldn't be printing his name or her name or nothing. No credit, no. Just colored. The colored performer, that's it. Dazzle the crowd today. Nothing too crazy. It really just all comes down to that the fucking big tent did not want white audiences to realize, wow, these black performers are better than the white performers. What the fuck? So they just hid them, not trying to give them credit or nothing. They hid them, so then that way it could be like, oh, look, a white face is doing these amazing acts. Oh my god. So they just don't give black people credit. They don't want people starting to think that these are better than the white people. So yeah, the same thing that we would see in modern society, where white people like to steal black people's ideas and take credit for it and not give the black people credit. So that even happens today. So the white face clown is basically a polished, better look black clown, basically repolished, more European standard. That's why it's like that. But the bodies who created the rhythms were pushed into the shadows. When you see that white face makeup, exaggerated red features, and the slapstick routines, it's basically shit that they seen from black performers, and it's just like repackaged into something better, you know, whatever that they considered better for the white eye. The clown world still likes to pretend that everything is just European and everything is built on European, you know, shit like that. They love to still pretend to this day that that's the fact. This shit is not built on like real, like, oh, inclusivity. Like, no, this shit is really about invisibility and hiding the truth on what real shit is really about, which is black performers and what they stole from black performers and the credit that they never gave to black performers. So yeah, that's pretty much it here. If you want a spell done by me in love, healing, banishment, hit my links, the Cosmic Blackbird website for your needs. If you want a third-party removal, I got you there too. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.